everybody. Welcome again to F This Movie. My name is Patrick.
And my name is Doug, and it's still October.
Yes, and we have such a special show for you because
Very.
last week we thought it was our last Scary Movie Month show. Nope.
Because it's 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks in a month, and we
Right.
figured, well, yeah, we're
we
set.
did 4 Scary Movie
Absolutely.
Month shows. Nope.
This month
Here
is
comes
kind of
number 5.
it's a weird, horrifying
Just
anomaly.
short-circuit us.
That's right. Short Johnny 5 is alive, and he's coming to kill you.
So we ended up with one extra Scary Movie Month show, and we did what any respectable hosts would do. We turned to you, the audience, to write our show for us. So it's time for a Scary Movie Month installment of Ask F This Movie. You tweeted your questions to @FThisMovie. You wrote them on our Facebook page at facebook.com/FThisMovie. And now we're going to try and answer them.
That's right. So let's get right down to it with the first question. Yes, okay, Brad McCarty, fan of the show, writes, after so many years, literally decades, of watching scary movies, do any of the present-day horror films actually scare you?
Douglas?
Yes. Patrick?
Sometimes. Scary movies very rarely scare me. But The Descent was scary, and that's fairly recent.
Yeah.
Yes.
Please! Is there anybody there?
So there are some things that still legitimately scare you, and
Sure.
when you're 54 years old
When
and
I'm-
like half dead, you
when
still
I'm
can be.
6
No, I mean
feet
like
4.
you're right. You're still scared. Is my point.
I will still be scared then.
Okay.
Mostly of dying.
I mean that's next
because
year.
I'm so much closer.
My point is I'm making a joke about how old you are.
No, I
You're
got
very
it.
old.
I'm
Oh.
old. Next question.
Renell
Remove a
Gessie.
shirt.
Renell Gessie. Hold on. This is Alfred Hitchcock, the grandfather of fright.
The director of the Vince Vaughn Psycho?
This motherfucker's playing chess and we're all playing checkers. All right, so Brad McCarty, damn it. Renell Gessie writes, what's up with budget/production quality being inversely proportional to actual scariness? Also, why so many sequels for scary movies? First of all, that's 2 questions, so should we go to the next question? I don't know.
Probably. If you're not going to follow the rules.
I like any question that goes that states inversely proportional because I always have to think, what does that necessarily mean? Then I figure it out because I'm not a dummy. But Patrick, answer the question, please.
So he's saying why is it that the bigger the budget, the less scary the movie
Yeah,
is?
I think that might be, and why I guess smaller budgets are more
I
scary.
don't know. I've seen a lot of really low budget horror movies that are terrible.
I think it might work better only in one direction, meaning sometimes the biggest budgets make for not the best scary movies, but
Right.
cheap budgets are a crapshoot.
Well, look at the original Haunting versus the remake of The Haunting. All of the CGI in the remake didn't make it scarier.
Right.
It was Owen Wilson that made it scarier.
Entrapment is what cops do to thieves. Rick Schlimbach, our European friend, maybe Dutch, not sure what, maybe Belgian, Flemish, Norwegian.
Now you're just
He
making
might
things
be a
up.
Dane. He writes F, Marry, Kill, Jason, Freddy, Alien.
You want me to take it?
You take it, please.
Oh, gosh. All
F,
right.
Marry, Kill. The F stands for fornication.
This is tricky. All
for
right.
frightening.
Aliens out for F because I don't want to get pregnant with what that thing is impregnating me with.
Okay.
Freddy might be out for F too, only because I don't want to listen to the bad jokes. He's probably gonna kill me anyway, but I don't want to feel bad about my stamina,
groaning.
my perform. Yeah, just
Just finish already.
I'm coming, you're going. Just talk about a bad way. It's I'm gonna have to die anyway, Freddy. So I guess I'm effing Jason, and I'll marry Freddy because he will definitely keep me entertained, constantly pulling me into the TV.
There you go. Right.
So I'll kill the alien.
I'm maybe breaking your convention. I'm saying Alien F because it's got 2 heads. All right, so that's Rick Schlimbach and Schlimbach, Schlim something. Here we go. And that's the end of that. Mike Young of the Young family of Connecticut writes F, Marry, Kill. Another one.
I like this. We just do a whole episode of just a horror movie F movie.
Zelda from Pet Cemetery, your personal favorite.
I don't like this anymore.
Meg Foster from Lords of Salem, or Angela from Sleepaway Camp. Patrick.
I should say F Angela because she has the biggest dick.
And now she's got to be in her 40s, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So that's, I mean,
So now it's fine.
you could still harness the image of her in the movie,
Right.
even though she's in her 40s now.
Can I
And she's
just F Sarah Silverman? Because it's pretty close.
yeah, absolutely. Jennifer Senkowski
All right.
writes, can you define who the villain is in the movie Pod People? I'm going to say Pod. Who do you think it is?
People? Neither of us have seen the movie Pod People, but that's not going to stop us from answering this question.
Absolutely not.
To me, the villain in that movie is society.
I think you're absolutely right. I think it's the mores that are oppressing the people of the... Andy Parker writes, can you please confirm that the old ghost lady at the start of Ghostbusters is actually the, all caps, scariest character in the entire history of cinema? Then he writes, thank you. So, Andy Parker, we appreciate the cordiality.
First of all, you're welcome. In a world where Zelda exists,
yeah.
she cannot be the scariest thing.
I also would posit that the clown in Poltergeist is pretty scary.
Zelda trumps them both.
Yeah, maybe.
Can I tell you a quick story about Ghostbusters in 1984? Obviously, I loved Ghostbusters, and the scene right after that,
Yeah.
when they're asking the librarian, "Are you Alice menstruating right now?" No one would tell me what that meant. Yeah.
Yeah. Seth Colgrove. Colgrove? Colgrove.
Colgrove.
Colgrove. Doesn't even look like a word anymore. Are there any terrible horror movies that are guilty pleasures for you?
Do you want to take that?
I can't think of one, so you go ahead.
I mean, a lot of them, if not most of them.
Yeah, you're definitely more of a horror aficionado than I. Aficionado. And I try to, I don't really rewatch as many things as you do. So this guy will watch tons of shit over and over and over again. So I would almost qualify, or say for you, it all qualifies as
and yet none of
guilty
it does,
pleasures.
And yet none of it does, only because I have a hard time distinguishing. Seth, I'm glad you asked this question. I'm not a big believer in the concept of a guilty pleasure, because at a certain point, if I like something, I just like it. I don't feel guilty.
It's just
about
a pleasure.
So exactly, but I don't like that word. So at a certain point,
it gives you pleasure.
The movie that immediately comes to mind is Silver Bullet, right? That's probably not a good movie that I really like, but at a certain point, I no longer feel guilty about liking it. I just like the movie Silver Bullet. So
I like that movie.
Is all of them and none of them.
I like Silver Bullet because so much werewolves. You can watch that movie. It feels very short and it's just full of werewolves. Mackenzie Lambert writes, favorite horror movie music score? Patrick.
I'm so glad you include the word music, because if it was just a favorite horror movie score, I would be like, yeah, when Skeet Ulrich banged Nev Campbell in Scream.
Nice.
That's an awesome score. My answers are boring. It's like Psycho and anything that John Carpenter has done.
You know, I'm going to go out on a limb, and no, it's a good limb.
Oh.
It's a pleasurable limb, so you'll like it. I'm going to say the score from the Friday the 13th movies is really, really great. The I mean, that in and of itself defines a decade of slasher movies.
Yeah. And I actually like the rest of the score. It's just crazy dissonant strings. This is me playing strings for the Friday the 13th movie.
It's just strings, everyone. I'm not looking at this direction, so I assume he's looking at the camera and talking to the audience, right?
Happy Scary Movie Month, everyone.
Happy.
Thanks for
It's
watching.
weird. You're a lot louder than you normally are, as if your voice is coming in this direction. So, thanks for watching, everyone. Happy Scary Movie Month.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
And stay tuned.